Oh, darn. Did I do it again? Did I mess up again? I made an error. It's okay. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy the show. It's going to be a great show. Real Housewives of Miami, the recap. My name is Randomly Ronnie Jr. And over there, I've got Russell Ray. How's everything? How's life treating you?
Life is good. It's been a busy week. I just got back from New Orleans, so that was fun. It's right on the
Yeah.
heels of Mardi Gras, so it's a good
Oh,
season.
that's exciting. I was going to be one of the people who said it's January and it's feeling like it's going to be a long January. Every year people say that, but I feel like this year it's kind of happening in a good way, but also in a little bit of a, Ronnie's tired. I'm just tired.
Russ is tired. R&R needs a little R&R.
Yeah. Overall thoughts of the show. This was episode 9. Wasn't a big, like a bunch of punch in this episode. But I was still okay with that. I like good storytelling issues, and I like a lot of the women sort of going to their spouses and being sympathetic of Lisa and how does that play in their own lives, which we've talked about on this show before. And I most importantly like, and I want to know what you think too. I love how Larsa could be like, oh, $2,000, no problem, Sophia. Just take it, to live in that life. Again, not like she didn't earn what she's earned, but Larsa, make it rain over here. Like, come on, show some love to us.
Hell, make it drizzle. We don't even need a rain.
We need a drizzle, yes.
We need a little drizzle. Just
Larsa, throw me a smile. That's all I want. Overall thoughts of the show?
Bravo loves to do this where they set something up for the next episode and they don't deliver. And that's exactly what I got from this episode. I mean, everybody knows that I'm talking about right at the tail end when Nicole and Larsa have their conversation. It's like, to be continued.
Yeah.
Something like that always bothers me because I am here from last week's to be continued. So, but I am actually happy that we got to see Alexia and Frankie interact, and Alexia, hosting an event due to a very good charity that helps.
Well, with the special needs
like her son. Yeah.
Okay, well, critically speaking, I will still say, even though you mentioned a lot of really good points there, I still thought it was an 8 or 9 episode. I still enjoyed it because, I don't know, the drama's fun, but I'm such a sensitive guy. So a relaxing and calm episode for me doesn't seem that bad. So I was with it.
I want spice.
You do. That's you. That is you. You know, our show represents everybody.
I think coming off the heels of New Orleans too, I want like Cajun spice, like just right in my face. I want the nostrils flaring.
Well, it's gonna happen. Dr. Nicole might be the one to stir up the pot, or have a viewpoint. We'll get to that in a little bit. If you may, so real quick as a note, we've done this show for about 9 weeks now. And if you want to look at all the other stuff, randomlyrjr.com is the place to go. But we know our very own Russell Ray is a television host, so you could see him on Peacock streaming, actually, by the way. Create the Escape. It was a show that came out on Peacock as soon as Peacock streaming started. It's like an escape room, but for like parents and kids, and it's tons of fun. And he was a designer and host expert on the show. So kudos to you, and that was a good experience. But if you can, I thought we'd do a little bit of entertainment news to start the show. What do you think?
I got you on entertainment news. All right, everybody, I'm Russell Ray, and this is your Social Pop Now, Housewives Edition Weekly. All right, so let's get started right off the bat. Diana Jenkins is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 1 season. The departure comes after announcing she is pregnant, but on doctors ordered bed rest. In a statement, she said, "I would like to thank Bravo and the Evolution for allowing me to focus on my pregnancy and for their support and understanding. I promise to continue sharing my fertility journey with you." So, I think that's great. I think Bravo supporting women, considering they make their living off of rich women, is a very nice thing. But let's roll into some other news. Jen Shah has been sentenced to 6.5 years in a federal prison. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast member must turn herself into a Texas facility by February 17th after being found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud in a national telemarketing scheme, which reportedly brought in more than $16 million. And last but not least, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip is heading to Morocco for season 4. Production is calling it the Ex-Wives Club. After casting OGs like Caroline Manzo, Gretchen Rossi, Brandy Gladville, and Phaedra Perks among some of the major stars. Ronnie, what do you think about this? I'm very, very excited about Ex-Wives Ultimate Girls Trip because I think these are some of the top scale OGs. I
Do
mean,
you?
I do.
Oh boy.
Brandy.
We
Minus Brandy.
minus Brandy. You never could ask me what I think because I'm going to give you what I think. Well, first of all, you said minus Brandy. I think Brandy will do okay. I think it's weird that we're doing 3 people who were already on a series together, being Phaedra, Eva, and Brandy.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'm not really that impressed with some of these people. The people I am impressed with are the great Camille Grammer. I think she has been on on the sidelines for long enough, so she'll be good back in there. And I think Alex McCord will be different. She'll just be so unique, so different. Her and her Herman Monster shoes. Like, I'm really feeling like Alex makes sense. Like, no, it's no diss. Like, I think Alex is going to be great. And I think like Phaedra will be a little bit humorous. And I think Eva knows the job. Like, we saw her on last season 3, where she knew to do her radio show in the morning, not get too messy, but keep a check. So overall, it's going to be good, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, we're still waiting on Ultimate Girls Trip 3, but this is a promising cast.
I'm most excited about. Well, first of all, Camille Grammer has been like labeled the most hated housewives of all the franchises over all the seasons. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, she has. That's
Why would anybody say that? Yeah, no, I like her.
I think she brings too much unnecessary drama, according to what people are saying. I don't mind her. I always kind of liked her because I thought she added a little something. Like I said, like she added the spice, got my nostrils flaring, put the little napkin up because I was just drooling and things. That's the kind of spice Camille brings to the show. But I do appreciate that they're bringing Caroline Manzo in, because Caroline was strong enough to hold her own series when it was called Manzo'd, right? Manzo'd, Living with Children, and it was her and her kids, her husband. I'm curious to know if anybody though is going to bring up her relationship with her sister, Dina. So
I feel like
there's always going to be something brought up. And I think that's a very sore spot, especially when it comes to Italian women. If you bring up anything, they're not very forthcoming when it comes to family. And I feel like...
Oh, we're going to talk about Brandy?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like she's going to be the one that spearheads that conversation. And I think the whole house is going to burn down in Morocco because of Brandy. I think Brandy's going to jail in Morocco.
Oh, good. Whoa. We need a minute. Let's take a beat. This is what Russell had said before about Brandy. Well, there's always been kind of rumors, but I would be for it. Do you think she's too
in the press?
Oh.
What do you think? I don't want to see her.
Okay. Well, I feel like this is a tangent, but we'll kind of wrap it quickly. I just feel like, can we see her in another role? Like, I don't like, she always kind of comes in, lights it on fire, and then leaves. Like,
she's
I think
at some Staub. No one wants her.
You called her a what?
She's a Danielle Staub. Nobody wants her.
We're gonna have to revisit this. We're gonna have to revisit this. She wasn't bad on Girls Trip.
Nobody wants her.
No, I can never argue
She's
with
like
you.
The last piece of the bread. Everybody passes her up.
Oh boy, tell us how you really feel. Moving along, because I really ain't got nothing. I was gonna say why not, but maybe not. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I assure you, we're going to talk about Marisol and Alexia and all the chisme that's going on in Miami, but that's how you really feel about Brandy? What, to me, she's a little interesting. You say no.
I don't feel that she's interesting. I don't. I feel like
I like the way his voice
seeker. She is spinning off the back of her ex-husband Eddie, and
what was she supposed to do?
I mean, look, she just... There's more reasons why I don't like her, but I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
There's
behind
some
the scenes
association issues why I also don't like her. I just think she runs with the crowd that I don't agree with. I think the crowd that she runs with are very, for lack of better words, they're very haterish, very condescending crowd. Very arrogant or pretentious crowd that actually doesn't have anything to show forth. That's what Brandy is.
Oh, this sounds real insider. We'll revisit this a little bit later because she's not leaving our TV screen. That's for sure.
Oh God, one can only hope.
Okay. This has been a little installment of Social Pop Now. If you want to go check out more, go to the Instagram account, Social Pop Now. Hey, I love talking about Real Housewives of Miami. So if anyone was like, oh my gosh, you guys took forever to get started, I just say sometimes our show is shocking. Oh, wait, the button's supposed to go. Shocking. Why is nothing working today? I assure you, and I'm going to tell you all before we start here, I actually, because it looked real corny right now, we did a flashback and I'm in the exact same hat and the exact same shirt. I tried to do the show earlier and I was not wearing this. So, but then the lighting was not working and now I'm usually it works real well. Okay, let's talk about Martina. Boom. Okay, see, it worked now. We're back. I need a break. Russell, why don't you take it away with episode number 9, an episode that we enjoyed, but you're right, it did set it up for what's going to happen with Nicole and what's going to happen with Larsa. And throughout the week, we actually got a mid-season trailer. Yeah. So that's at least a little exciting. Yeah, take it away.
So, I mean, right off the bat, Lisa's divorce and her separation is in the press. And the mistress is in the press talking about it, stating that she's not a homewrecker. This has nothing to do with her. And mind you, last episode, Lenny was in the press telling the press that him and Lisa were fine. They were not separating. Now he's in the press telling them that he's in a relationship, full-fledged relationship. He has something going for him. He's happy. He hasn't been this happy. Oh my gosh, this is... And mind you, when these episodes are shot, they're within days of each other. We're not talking like this isn't 6 months later. This is literally days after an article just came out on page 6 stating that him and Lisa are fine. He denied all the allegations. Now him and Katharina are talking about how they've been in a happy relationship and that the divorce is going through. They have been separated. I think this is very messy boots. Very messy boots. I don't like it.
Yeah. You know, even a rotten apple... I'm trying to think of a really funny word to say together. Rotten apple still has a stem? I don't know. But even a rotten apple, meaning what he did was rotten. I was trying to be witty there, and it's just not working today. Even a rotten apple has a stem. And what I mean by that is, could it be he did all these asinine things to her, really put her in just an awful situation? Their marriage is just, blasted on Front Street. He's parading the new girl around town, all these things. But is there a part of him that knows, well, she got the reality TV camera. She's going to build the narrative the way she wants to. She's going to build the sympathy. And the only way that I get my word out is if I strike back on, talking to the press myself or page 6 myself. I mean, that's a very nice way that I'm extending. I don't really feel all of that, but I'm wondering if there's something in that what is that like? Like, let's all take it to our own personal selves. You do something you're not very proud of. And I don't know if that he's not proud of it. He might not care. But let's say he's not proud of this and it just happened. Things like this happen. But you also don't want to be, demolished in terms of your reputation based on this show. And that it's going to happen that way. Is him talking to the press, reshaping his own narrative? Is it a way for that to happen? Or is it a way for him to pump his girl and make her get, I love when Lisa said, why is the press talking to her? She's the side chick or something like that, or she's the homewrecker. Yeah. So,
well, here's the thing, right? Let me brighten up the lights a little bit. That way y'all can get a little bit more of me.
This show is like live as it gets today. I don't know what is going on. How bright you want me to be?
Look, that's better, right?
Well, you should tell everybody before when I was wearing a yellow shirt and it had my whole face turning blue. Like, what's happening?
I was like, why is my face so dark? I was listening to what you were saying. I was hearing it. I was processing it. Yeah. We're going to get there. But at the same time, I was like, why is there such a shadow on my face? And because you and I are so used to shooting, because we're on the West Coast, we're Pacific Coast Standard Time. We're used to shooting closer to sunset. So the lighting is a little bit more... It's a little bit more bronzy. So the light that's right here that comes through my window.
It could be that. Yeah.
Usually gets me like a nice little, nice little contrast. And then my front lighting right here gives me, just a little highlight, just like a little contour.
Yeah. I was going to be chill. I was early. I texted you like, oh, I'm early today. Like it's going to be a chill episode. I had my grapes. I brought my grapes. I was just going to talk about this show and be happy. What the F? Okay, back to you.
Okay. So I think on the back end of that, I think Lenny actually doesn't realize that regardless of the narrative that he's telling to save face now, he's not registering the fact that a whole show is going to come out about this and it's going to be surrounded by this. So we're going to see nothing but the truth at the end of the day. So where his mind is exactly, I think he's in fight or flight mode in the sense of
Well, in the sense of he's defending himself, but he's not necessarily admitting fault or anything like that. But he's definitely defensive. Yeah.
He's very defensive. And with that being said, that's all we got to say about him. And I wish him and Brady Gladville the best.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if they started dating.
That I would love. I would be here for that because they're both messy. They're both part of the same type of crowd. So
dang, come on, don't put Brandy there. Let me tell you all something, you all that are watching. Russell Ray, this Russell here, not Russell to be confused with Gertie's Russell, loves Lenny. He can't stop thinking about Lenny. So I think so maybe that's why you feel what you feel. No, I'm gonna make you not hate on Brandy so much. I feel like that she's got redeeming qualities, but we'll work through that. Well, because I don't know. I don't think she's that bad. Unless you know something. You know some
I know
insider.
things.
He knows some insider stuff.
I absolutely know.
Last week's episode, you brought that Adriana, little tidbit. So, I found out about the Adriana music video.
Tell me.
So, from my little sources,
yes.
But this also could have been an excuse. Let's go with the excuse from a source.
Okay.
That there was some the network wanted the video to be released at a later date or something like that, which I'm like, but maybe it would be a different thing if you are.
It looks like
doing,
it's about.
Stop it.
About
if you
6 months later.
No, if you're doing candles or something like that, those are your own candles or whatever. And if they're filmed, it's fine. But with music, maybe there's a little bit of releases that need to be. I don't know, but my sources gave me an excuse saying. Okay. You're not buying it. Let's move on.
It's not that. My thing is I get that the video is delayed, but post-production takes at least 6 months. How fast did they pump this out? You know what I mean? We can Google and see how long ago Larsa hosted the Versace event, but
yeah,
how much further do you want to push it out?
All I know is I want
to see it.
I'm still obsessed with the choreography, and I'm still obsessed with the director delivering the choreography. That runs in my head all the time.
My favorite part of the whole music.
Why aren't they listening to me?
Is when he told Adriana no when she was trying to be cute. She was trying to be cute and she was like this, and her hair was in front of her face. He's like, Adriana, no,
no, honey, no. I'm telling you, he was great. I think I want to see a little bit more of him. Anyways,
I would like to see more of him. I would like to see more of him. I want to see him in Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Ex-Wives Club. I want to see him there. I want to see him replace Brandy.
Oh my goodness. Enough. Okay. So that was how the whole show got set up with Lisa, and very tabloid, and how she had to receive it, which is tough. It's a big, beautiful house, but then it's at the core she's still distraught about it and still in love with him and stuff like that. So,
and I think the fact that he wants her to find her own place, or the fact that he has his realtors looking for a place for her, saying, here, this is good enough for you, whether you want to take the kids or not, is that's just a douchebag move. I don't appreciate it. And
his money's always done the talking, so he feels like even in the situation, what's the difference?
Yeah, I feel like he can just go somewhere. He can go live under a rock. He really can, because no one wants to see him anyways. Come on, no one wants to see him.
Nope.
With that being said, we're going to progress to a positive relationship, and we're going to jump over to Martina and Julia's romantic 14-year anniversary dinner. It was a redo of their first date back in Paris, where Julia cooked for Martina. She made fish. This time around, it didn't come out as good. She burned it a little bit, but she owned up to it. Martina thought it was very cute. I thought that was a nice scene, given the heels of the news that we just found out about Martina. Our thoughts are still with her, and we hope that she really powers through this and gets through this. It is stage 1. It on the higher percentage of beating You know, so we're very optimistic about that. It's not 100, but we are optimistic about that. That's why they say early detection is the best. But I thought it was cute, and I thought that like it really gave them their moment to shine. They have been a little bit disconnected lately, so the fact that they were able to enjoy this moment together made my heart smile. To be cheesy, you know.
No, I don't think it was cheesy at all. I loved kind of every bit of it. It was just I mean it's kind of to have such a beautiful home and like, you know, that's your backyard. Like that's your backyard. You should be having romantic moments like that all the time. And you know, I have my issues with Julia in terms of like, is she the compelling cast member? And she's certainly bringing a lot. Some of the quirky stuff, it feels like overplayed, but this was not. This was very much to the core. And you know, I guess I got to be a little more sympathetic in terms of how I've been talking a little bit like, oh, come on, Julia, this empty nester thing. And I haven't really been dismissing empty nesting as a parent. As I'm not a parent, I have been very respectful of it. But I feel like with Julia, I was just questioning, like, even she said it in this episode, like, I don't think I'll ever get through with this. Well, what do you do? So now you're going to have another kid, you're going to adopt, and you're going to do this again in 18 years. Like, I was simply saying something within Julia does need to, you know, clock in and realize, you know, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that relationship with Martina because that is, you know, this beautiful relationship. I guess I'm just trying to say in regards of relationships that like you use as a crutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't really see if the thing is good or bad because the crutch is always, I want to have somebody in the house, you know. So that's all I was really saying. But okay, fine. I haven't always loved Julia, but I loved this scene. Oh my God. I mean, it was an extension of them jumping in the water together. It was romantic. I love to see Martina just with her little, like, her cool energy that she has, and like, oh, thank you, babe. Like, I just am all about it. I'm like, not saying they deserve a spinoff in any way, but it warmed my heart. You know, yeah, I'm a sensitive guy, so I thought that was really good.
Honestly, if there was two spouses that I could spend a weekend with and have just like an ultimate weekend trip, we're not going to genderize it, but if I could have an ultimate weekender, it would be with Martina and Joe Gorga.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because it'd be a good balance, because Joe's a little wild, but Martina's very balanced. And I tend to be in the middle. I can be on the spectrum of either or, but I can also calm down very quickly, just as much as I could turn up really quickly. Right. So I guess it'd be a great balance.
Yeah, I guess we all have a little Martina in us and a little Joe Gorga.
Oh, trust me. You and I know, especially with each other, we can be a little Joe Gorga when it comes to
Joe Gorga-ish.
Our days in New York City.
Oh yeah, I mean stuff had happened. Yes.
You know, I don't know if Joe could keep up with that.
Yeah, right. I don't know. The good old days. But no, it was a cute thing. And I did kind of jump to it. I guess we could just get into this right now. What did you think of her saying that she is going to adopt with Martina? Is that something you think? I mean, obviously, if we wanted to, we could go on Instagram right now and see if it did come through.
Yeah.
Or was this just an idea?
I think it was production. And I'll tell you why. Because Real Housewives of Jersey, they did the same thing about 3 seasons ago, where they had Melissa and Joe looking into surrogacy, looking into IVF, looking into all these things. We knew it was going to come full circle where it wasn't going to happen, and that's what's going on right here with Julia and Martina. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's all for storyline. Maybe there's something lacking in the modeling storyline that we don't know because we're not production, and maybe they pushed and pushed and pushed and they just can't get anything. So maybe that's actually what's going on, which is why they're like grasping for straws. But I don't think there was any seriousness behind the adoption method.
Yeah, cute moment, and hopefully it is legit. We would hate for the show to ever like run these stories and they're not necessarily authentic, but I guess it's still in the family of empty nester, which is totally like bugging her and you know, creating a sort of like a void in her heart, which I could sympathize for that. Let's just see where it goes, because I agree with you. Something is saying that this is going to be not a storyline, because I don't want to be disrespectful like that, because it is a journey, you know. But
I don't think And let me clear up. I don't think that was intentional storyline. I think the question arises anytime you're coming to this, like anytime you're coming into a situation as such. I think the idea of, have you ever thought of adopting? Do you think that 2 children was your end all be all? Do you think you're young enough, because stars are having children at a very late age now? Like Janet Jackson, for example, what was she, 50, right?
She was like 50, yeah.
Yeah, when she had
Kenya Moore was pretty late in her 40s also.
Yeah. So you have all these, you have technology which has progressed in order to produce healthy pregnancies and healthy babies. So I think maybe the question might have arose at the production table and asked her, and maybe she actually considered it and thought, let's go down this journey and see what qualifications I need, and see what efforts and energy that it's going to take from me. And maybe it was just a natural fruition of a storyline. But I do think that I was going to come full circle, and it's just not going to pan out. Just because I don't see Martina being in that mindset for another child.
It's good for the exposure of the story. People go through it. It's a tough and sensitive issue. But
sorry. Incoming hot off the press.
Do we have, is Marisol calling right now? Marisol's like, no, don't say nothing. Marisol's like,
down
no.
South, I will say it is from the East Coast, but I don't know. Wow, that was hot. Sorry. Do not disturb mode. Don't they know? Don't you? Anybody? Oh, let me not show you all my secrets.
And we're watching, and we're watching it, the show live. This is the real Watch What Happens live, because you never know what you're gonna get. I want to say that we're gonna talk a little bit about Marisol and Alexia and the chisme that goes on in Miami, which I thought I just love that scene, even though it was not that important in terms of the story, but I just liked it. But real quick, Gertie and your namesake Russell, it didn't have a lot in it, but I still was okay with it. I feel like Gertie, one thing about her is she sticks within what she believes. Like, her story never changes,
Yeah.
I am trying to accomplish all these things, and we haven't even got to the tip of the iceberg as to what and where that comes from, which you alluded to last week. You were saying, in terms of a woman in the workforce, that's not always wasn't always a given, so like we can never like have a judgment of that. We don't know where, why, she is this tenacious, but I just thought it was a good scene. I think 27 years is an incredible journey. She's having all these moments happen to her. And I think, to me, watching Gertie struggle with being close with her sons and then having like intimate time with her husband feels so real,
Yeah. I think yes. I was processing. Sorry, I was processing.
We're such talkers, but sometimes we're just like, sure.
It's been a long week. I have a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I got there's like meal prepping. There's non-meal prep. Look, let me tell you all.
You
want to talk about being a Gertie? I am a Gertie, right? There's always something going on. As you all saw live, my phone went off. No, but I thought it was very touching. I think the fact that these are tough questions to have in general when you're bringing up anything in regards to relationships, because you want to consider the other person's feelings. You don't ever want to get to a place where someone is too self-centered, or someone is you're constantly changing your life for them. So I think having, and mind you, like all of them kind of went through these little breakdowns, not necessarily with their significant others, but they all kind of just went to this breakdown of discussing relationships in regards to what's going on with Lisa. And I think it was great. I think open communication and clear communication is really what progresses a relationship into the next level, because I mean, when we all enter relationships, we're hoping that this is the end all be all kind of thing, that this is going to be my life partner. We're going to continue on, and we're going to be happy. We're going to grow old together. This is going to be the notebook. But that doesn't always happen, because as we've seen with Lisa, Lisa had a little bit of ignorance to think that, everything was fine just a month ago. Like, it wasn't fine a month ago. All these things, the signs show. And like you said, going to fast forwarding to Alexia said, the signs are always there. Whether we choose to act on them or not is one thing.
Yeah.
And it's true. The signs are always there. When someone's lying, when someone's not lying, right. When there's secrets and things being hidden from you. It's, come on, like you got to be real slow not to catch those types of things. Not to call Not to call Lisa
No,
slow.
she's not slow. She's just, and even Marisol was explaining that when she said, she went in the house and she goes, "Oh, the vodka's exactly where I left it. I'm the only one who drinks vodka here." These girls are being very compassionate towards each other, but also
Mhm.
very authentic and real with it.
Yeah.
Saying like, listen, Lisa, good friend. However, could she have been sort of, been in denial about some of the things that were happening, right under her nose? And that's kind of, they're putting that pressure in a really healthy way.
Yeah.
I think. My last thought on Gertie was, I do really feel like it would be a little different if she did have a daughter, like having the sons, and the sons kind of gravitate towards the dad, and then the weird schedules by both of them. I could see that as a problem. But listen, Gertie's great. She takes the information, she utilizes it and says, let's at least try to do something that we did like, which was game night. And also her kids are getting older. That's another hard part about the connecting with your kids. I don't have kids. I'm just, giving my best as what I would imagine. They're growing older. Sometimes we all know what we were like when we were in our early teens or preteens.
Yeah.
You do grow away. And another thing is, what's great about all these women going to their spouses and finding out, hey, what can I do to better the relationship? Am I doing anything wrong? Because they were really affected by Lisa. I don't want to get into too much of a negative thing, but it's not even a breakup situation that you sometimes, life deals you some cards. Carol and Dorinda on Real Housewives of New York was always a really good storyline, because they came from, they were widowed women, so nothing is guaranteed. When we say nothing is guaranteed, nothing is guaranteed. And I think that's why no one's able to watch this show and see Lisa go through what she goes through and talk trash. Some people could say like, oh, okay, she she found her a rich man, this and this, but you still don't want that wool pulled under from under you, and he's flaunting it.
But even if you do find a rich man sugar daddy to take care of you, and you're living this luxurious life, at some point in that relationship, you're going to fall in love with that individual, because you've spent so much time with them. And even if it was fraudulent, which Lisa's relationship we know was not, but even if it was fraudulent, I mean, mind you, if there's like a 40-year gap, you're gonna find compassion in your heart for that person, because you're so familiar with this, and it's gonna become a relationship of convenience. But I digress on that, because I don't want to go into a downward spiral on something that is irrelevant to the show.
Yeah.
What else can I say about this? I think Lisa is in a good position. I think she's getting to a better position. She's talking it out. She's meeting with the girls, and she's having her girl time. So when this is this isn't going to weigh her down. As we see now, she's very much progressing, and she has someone on her arm. She has arm candy for once, opposed to her being the arm candy. She has arm candy.
So you're saying he's a hot young thing. You like him?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, speaking of arm candy, I don't know. Well, there was photos. This is jumping a little bit. One of my favorites, Real Housewives of Potomac's Giselle Bryant, just having dinner with Jason from Summer House and Winter House. And Lindsay famously said, Jason, he's packing a punch. You know what I mean? Yes. So good for Giselle. If she don't got to be with him, but she could be dating. And, dating could be dinner, but dating could also be the D. So I just thought I'd mention that. Good on you, Giselle. Good on you.
Dating could also be code. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because men do it all the time.
You see? Anyways, just thought I'd bring that up real quick. I loved, even though it was like, it was almost like filler, but I was totally cool with the Marisol, Alexia. I loved seeing the two guys coming to get the gossip or whatever. So I don't know why that just felt like such a good scene to me. I liked it. I loved the show. I wanted to be
familiar to us.
Was it that? Very. Yeah, like we know these guys. Yeah, we know we know this energy. We know this. I don't know, something. Yeah, you're right. It was something. Yeah.
Yeah. We this is familiar to us, because this is what you get when you go out in New York. This is what you get when you go out in West Hollywood. This happens. You go to lunch, you go to dinner, you see someone, you catch up, you gossip, you fill them in on the cheese. You pull a little bit more information than you thought you already knew, and it's fun. It's fun, and that's what life is about: is causing a ruckus, being chaotic, and being messy. No, it's not. But I mean, it was familiar. It was fun. I mean, fast forward now. Let's progress into let's progress. Hold on, let me check my notes here. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Alexia, since we're on Alexia. Let's talk about her and hosting that charity event for Frankie.
Wow, that was so okay. So some people have been watching Real Housewives of Miami since season 1.
Yes.
I am one of them. I've always famously said I actually only started watching Potomac because Miami finished, and that was like my Miami void. Which I love Potomac. I'm not knocking Potomac in any way, but I was one of these people who was devastated. Like, no, I want more seasons. You know.
Yeah.
So something to me feels really like connected to Alexia in that way, because you did have those early moments with, you know, before the accident, and there's something like to see her go through it, and now we're going through it with her, and her finding solutions. And then, you know, we all have people that we know who have, you know, family members that are special needs and whatnot, on different levels. And like, I feel like I remember hearing one of my friends make that same wording, like, I have to sort of set this up because I'm not going to be around forever to take care of such and such. You know, that could be son, that could be brother. And I just felt really touched by it. I feel like I'm saying the same thing about every scene. I felt connected. I felt touched. I felt emotional. I felt relatable. But I really did feel like we've seen it, because if you watched from the beginning, this is a lot of years that you've seen the growth of it, you know, and there is something different about him being, he was really young when it happened, you know, the near death experience within the accident, which was talked about in season 2, I believe. And then to see living within this situation, and he's still so funny and lovable, and he loves the girls or whatever. But
she did say that.
It was beautiful. I'm glad they were able, like the production team or whoever is making these big calls. Like, I'm glad this was edited into the show. So it was powerful and it was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, but and with that, they're helping a charity out that helps individuals like Frankie become more independent and live their life and live their best life, because like Alexia said, she's not going to be there forever, so she wants to set him up and make sure he's good to be okay and progress on his own. I mean, he's always going to have his brother as well, side by side, hopefully, with him. So his brother will always be his right hand man if he does need anything. But I mean, I think this was great. I think anytime we can give to charities, or anytime we can benefit a charity that's doing good in society and not just saying that they're doing good, is always a good thing to showcase on the show.
Do we give a little extra credit to Todd, even though season 1 they or not season 1, but from the reboot season 4, actually, Todd was like kind of putting pressure, like, oh, you guys might be missing like a blind spot. He was kind of mean. It was a little bit of an argumentative moment. But do you think that at all contributed to Alexia kind of realizing, I do need to look into some options?
Yes, I think tough love is necessary, because you become so consumed in the situation that you can't see an outside perspective, or you can't necessarily see things that need to be done when you're in a situation as such. You know, I had this conversation recently with someone that and I won't mention their names out of discretion, but they pretty much feel like they're a crutch to the people that they're helping. And it's very much, you are the crutch. You are the crutch. Throw them out sometimes you got to throw them out to the wolves. And by that, I mean, you just got to give it to them blunt, because if you don't, then there's excuses. Well, you didn't really tell me. You tried to have this conversation with me, but it didn't really come off that way. Like, no, give the direct, be blunt, give the direct order. So Alexia was being a crutch to Frankie, and I'm glad that her husband has brought this up and that she's progressing in this new way, because it's going to help her grow as an individual as much as it's going to help him grow, and they'll be able to detach more.
It wasn't the greatest of scenes from Todd, but it did put a little pressure, some thought processes as to what Alexia should do. And I'm glad we're seeing that growth, because Frankie's not a little kid no more.
But you know what, too? Also, all good is not just sunshine and roses. And so sometimes we need scenes like this in shows like this to really enlighten us on the reality of life.
Well, and Alexia is such a mama bear, regardless, as we've seen with Peter, that this is only going to intensify, you know, the situation. Like she likes that position as Mama Bear to
Yeah.
protect Frankie from the world, really.
Yeah.
But they're like she said, I'm not gonna. I mean, even losing her mother last year probably was another thing that connected too,
Yeah.
because you know my mother's no longer here. I'm no longer gonna. You know, there's a day that you know Frankie will be here on this earth. So it was good, and yeah, I was heartfelt, and I liked that part of the episode. What else do we have? We have everyone getting ready for this big get together. Well, that was the get together, so that was like the fun side, or the you know, nice.
Adriana's butt.
Oh, tell me about Adriana's butt. Yes, we saw Adriana's butt. Boom, there it is.
You know what? Here's the thing. Look, I'm so tired of everybody getting fake butts. Just stop. Just stop. I mean, I get it. If you're like this, I get it. I get it. You want a little hey, little whoa, you know. But come on.
Well, I plan on getting the hey and the whoa. Hello, doctor.
You need a little hey, little whoa.
Yeah. Because I'm like this. I need the hey and the whoa.
Look, I've worked. Let me just show you. I've worked very hard.
Oh no, this one.
Hold on. I've worked very hard for what
Look
I
at
have
that
going
dookie.
on here. Okay, thank you.
Not a live demonstration.
And it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it too.
So that's where it comes from. You're like, I'm in the gym all the time. I've worked for it. You don't like seeing that everyone just jumps to technology now.
It's not even just that. It has more or less to do with the fact that everyone is complaining about mental health, right? Not complaining, but everyone is seeking resources to help with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're having body issues, just by getting it fixed isn't going to fix your mental state.
Mm-hmm.
But it has been proven by going to the gym, it releases endorphins, which makes you feel better. And if not only that, but it's rewarding because you worked for it, and it's like,
right.
Wow, I really put the time and effort into that. And not only that, you figure it takes effort, patience, and consistency to get somewhere. So your time is going to be consumed when it comes into building that natural butt, opposed to you're going to be in pre-op, you're going to be in post-op, and then you go back for a revisit to make sure everything's healing okay, and then you're done. So there's nothing in between there to just not even to distract you, but to keep your mind occupied. And I think a lot of times we get ourselves sick when our minds aren't occupied enough, when we have too much free time. And so I know for myself, I do have anxiety. I do stress a lot naturally. So by going to the gym, by meal prepping, by doing all these things, it keeps my mind busy, and there's a constant goal that I'm working towards. And so it's not just I've been in the gym and I worked for mine, go work for yours. It's more or less of like, stop putting a Band-Aid on the issues and actually fix it internally, and put the effort
I can see
to fix it.
Say it again.
Just put the effort in and do the work that it takes to fix yourself internally before you go out and fix yourself externally.
Well, I can say that yes, because there is a level of it just being for the actual fitness for yourself, you know, not necessarily anything visual. You know, you could go like, you know, I've been going lately just the 3 days a week, very minimal exercising, you know, and I kind of feel exactly what you were saying. Do I want results to happen like they did when I was 28? Sure. Are they happening? Not really.
And I'm the same way. Now that I'm 30, I'm like,
yeah, it's like the body changes really metabolically. But what I will get to, and I think I was telling you the other day, I was like, oh yeah, it was like a Saturday night, and like there was nothing social that was happening for me. Not that I have a boring social life or anything like that, but I like went to the gym late on a Saturday, and it was more or less, and I know we got to talk about Miami, but it was more or less because I needed to get my mind more focused. You see, within the works that I do, a lot of freelance work, I'm sometimes on a West Coast time zone and an East Coast time zone in terms of my work and the correspondence. It's very challenging, and sometimes that beats me up, and then I'm like, oh gosh, the sleep, and it becomes a whole thing. And luckily lately, just trying to go and exercise a little bit has been great. I look at it like this, like just start slow. If there's no progress, fine. but you gotta just like build it up, you know what I mean? So I've lost the weight once, and so I plan to do it again. But I do joke that, oh man, what a cool thing that would be to get the BBL and kind of get that quick fix, the only problem with that is what's next. What's the other thing that's a problem for you? If you have money to get all this stuff done,
Yeah.
what's the next thing you're gonna do? Soon enough,
Yeah.
you're gonna look like, they were showing old photos of Diana Jenkins from Beverly Hills Housewives, her old face and her new face.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be so far off from who you are. Adriana is a beautiful woman at a certain age. I just hope, and we'll move on to the next topic here. I hope the pressure of this TV show and Miami lifestyle does not make her feel lesser than, because we like her. We sometimes don't like her actions, but we've never doubted her beauty. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman, as
Very much.
is this entire cast. Yeah.
Very much. And I, like I said, I just feel a certain way about BBLs and about glute augmentations, just because I'm like, again, if you go and you do the work and you've tried it and you're like, I'm in there every single day, like Caroline Manzo's daughter, she was doing 2 hours of kickboxing every single day, and she was not able to lose the weight before she decided that she wanted to get either the gastric sleeve, or I don't think it was gastric bypass, but I think it was a lap band. And then she decided to do that because it was going to help her health, and she had been putting in the work, and there was no results. And sometimes there's a medical issue and why you can't do certain things, like you might have a thyroid issue. So there's a lot that plays into it. But again, like, figure all that out first before you decide to go to the plastic surgeon and have all that done, because celebrities are now speaking out, like Cardi B, that she regrets, in a sense, of getting her own augmentation in her butt. But I mean, again, it's kind of made her career, and it's excelled her career. So I mean, there's going to be a trade-off.
You know what they say you got to do? Just have a stellar personality, and you'll always win. Sadly, with the invention of Instagram and these types of social media elements that reward not just people like musicians or people on TV, just even for the common person, a high schooler, a college student, they're getting rewarded by their looks on social media. It's really done a lot to people's minds. As much as I want to get myself in tip-top shape, I also know, baby, I am Ronnie, and like, I celebrate that. You know what I mean? And I just, we could go on and on. This could be a separate topic, but it's a lot. It's kind of good that Adriana put it out there, because it allows us to talk about it critically, I think. What?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Like, it allows us to talk about her. I was like, wow.
No.
Okay.
No. I've been a lot nicer. Hey, real quick before we get to the last part, and I guess, unless there's anything else, the last bit we could talk about sort of like Gertie's conversation in the van with Dr. Nicole, and where that goes with Dr. Nicole's opinions of Larsa. But before we did, we had been doing this thing on this particular show where we do little shout outs. Not that anyone necessarily needs our shout out, but I was going to say it was actually really, really cool to see. Carlos King had a podcast that he did with Kate Casey, and they were talking about all things Real Housewives of Miami. Turns out they love this show, and both of them are so strong in their own podcast. So when they got together, it was fun. It was funny. They were talking about all things Real Housewives of Miami and why the show is probably the highest on the franchise and why the cast members work, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a shout out to Carlos King and Kate, because they were bringing the heat. And the thing about it too is they were actually giving perspective to Julia and Martina in a way that I had never really thought too. So what I always say is, this show, everybody, there's room for everyone to commentate and recap it, because everyone takes something different. Like, I didn't take all the things that they took from like a Julia storyline. And they probably don't like Larsa like I like Larsa. Team Larsa all day. What? Every day.
Every day.
Anyways, Dr. Nicole, what do you think of her issue with Larsa?
So I think Larsa has space to be upset about hearing Dr. Nicole prejudging her, having certain feelings towards her. I think she has every right to feel that way. However, I do think when it comes to the profession, let me get that shot of the fan out. I think when it comes to a profession that you work so hard for, when it comes to doing years of med school and college and pre-med and all these things, and to talk about, and grant you, like, this is going to happen next episode, but it did kind of start this episode, to talk about something like that's dealing with someone's hours of their life, of their effort, of their mental capacity that they really had to just take space for everything to get through med school. And I think I will say I do have to disagree with Larsa on this one, and I know you're gonna hate
wrong.
that. I know you're gonna hate that, but again, like Dr. Nicole makes a good statement. I mean, a good point where she could lose her job from a rumor like this that she's slept with everybody in
Then
the
why'd she go
room.
on this show? Why'd she go on this show with no edit? No, I'm kidding. That's terrible. I shouldn't.
With no editing rights.
I shouldn't do that. I should.
Because she has Anthony Lopez to take care of her.
Oh, let's talk about Anthony one time. Salute to the king. All right now. Ow!
I knew I was gonna get that in there. I just didn't know where, but I wanted to get it in there for you.
Come on,
because
Anthony.
Get it in with Anthony. I'm gonna get it in. You're gonna get it in right here.
Let's go on a flight together, Anthony. Let's go.
Mile High Club, here you come.
So I mean, I do want your opinion too, but my thoughts are like,
if you had to choose between Larsa and a relationship with Anthony Lopez for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Wait, but what do I get? What do I get out of Larsa?
Just the
friendship? like friendship?
Yeah.
I would say Anthony only because I feel like Larsa already likes me a lot. Like I've heard word that she likes our show.
Mm-hmm. Let the viewers see that this is the one time where you abandoned Larsa.
No. I didn't abandon it. I said she already likes
leaving
me.
Larsa for the D.
Wouldn't be the first. Oh boy, what a messy show. No,
you see this, America? You see this, and everybody else in all the other 138 countries of the world. Ronnie has officially left Larsa for Anthony Lopez.
I think he's a liar. You're lying right now. You're telling people lies.
Oh, he's turning red. He's turning red. Well, how else are you feeling about this, Ronnie? Let's see what we can really get out of you here.
No, I would enjoy a night or two with Dr. Anthony, whatever his name is. Whatever his name is. Okay, so let's just get down to it though. Okay. For real. Look at you. I'm sweating. Hold on. Time out. I need a drink of water. You talk.
I was gonna get one too.
I need to get a grape.
Well, let's make things hotter. Let's talk about. You know what? I mean, at the end of the day, we'll speed through this one real quick with Larsa and Dr. Nicole, but I think there's going to naturally be a big blow up, and they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot of mutual respect for each other for a little bit. 2 seasons down the line, I think they'll be okay, but they're going to have to go through the thick of it in order to make their relationship stronger. Because right now, I'm not going to say it's just topical, but it's not deep rooted. So it's not deep rooted like Lisa and Larsa. So Lisa and Larsa are deep rooted. They went through their issue about Lisa mentioning about Larsa having a penthouse in a certain building and that crack whores, prostitutes, and OnlyFans people live there. And but they're so deep rooted that was besides the point of anything when it came to Lisa's separation and being cheated on and Larsa being there for her.
And they were friends first.
Yes.
Dr. Nicole's never been a
She's
friend.
Never been a friend. So
Larsa.
They do have to find mutual ground to become deep rooted. And I think this is their opportunity, is to really just have a messy brawl out fight, and then they can go from there. Because as we've seen with Danielle Staub, Lord, and Teresa Giudice, they had the biggest blow up. Teresa threw a whole damn table at her, and they ended up becoming friends down the line, and then they had their other falling out. But they gave it a shot. There was a shot there, and they made it happen. So I see that happening with Larsa and Dr. Nicole.
Well, let the record show that I don't want this. I don't want it. I said it, last week. I was like, oh, this is good when two of my favorites are against each other. It makes for great TV because I like them both. But no, now I'm like not liking it. I feel like it's funny how Dr. Nicole will talk about, condescending, where her approach was a bit like passive aggressive, like I just feel like if you have something to say, can't you say that particular thing? I feel like Dr. Nicole is talking to, and Dr. Nicole, you do have to know that like you're one of my favorites. So this is like crushing to me. It feels like Dr. Nicole is talking to Larsa like she's a fan that didn't get in, and so now she's mad. Like her preference, like Adriana, they wanted to be Larsa's fan, not friend, but they were just fans. They were just the fan. And because they get to occupy the same spaces, they get real mad about that. But they would have preferred the other side. I just feel really like, what was the issue? You said you saw Dr. Nicole's side. Okay, what was Dr. Nicole wanting out of Larsa? What did Larsa owe to Dr. Nicole? That's what I don't understand.
I don't think anything is owed. I think it comes down to the fact of this is a professional career that
but that didn't come up until after Dr. Nicole came at her. See,
the issue is that I guess Nicole had some sort of jealousy and animosity towards towards Larsa.
Mm.
And here I go confusing all the names again. Towards Larsa. And so Larsa's like, there was no reason for you to have these issues about me or towards me. And I think that's going to be revealed on the next episode of what is the actual rooted cause of why there is tension or animosity between the two and why Dr. Nicole felt a certain way towards Larsa.
That is definitely fair. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, we have our beautiful, the Haitian Empress. I think Larsa's comment toward Dr. Nicole was highly disrespectful. Oh, highly disrespectful. Okay. You may love her, but getting notoriety because you were married to an athlete versus years of medical school. No, not the same. No, it isn't the same. It isn't the same. And I don't think like Larsa, what I'm trying to say is Larsa wasn't arguing. She wasn't having issue with nobody. I just keep saying, why you laugh?
Because the way that you just expressed yourself was very much Housewives of Miami, and you're like, and it was very Larsa the way that you just explained yourself. You're like, I wasn't arguing.
I was meant to be on the show. No, because I just think like to me it feels a little chicken shit. So sorry to I love the comment. That was a great comment. Thank you for watching too. Hi.
The Haitian Empress.
Oh,
this is not the first time the Haitian Empress has commented with us, so we
she was watching
coming back.
She was watching episodes before and said we were talented, which I was like, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No,
I'm rolled right out of bed this morning because busy day. But
okay, maybe, and we're wrapping up the show. And we could continue everything in the comments and all that stuff. But what I just feel like this is my feelings. I feel like Larsa has an immense amount of confidence. I say that all the time. And I feel like other people can't take her living her lavish life. Okay. She's not being mean or rude to anybody. In my mind, she's not being rude. Have we seen her ever be mean? Have we seen her she's kind of been a little snappy with Adriana, but they had, last year they didn't really get along. Adriana tried it. So you're going to get a couple bad comments. But I just don't understand. I guess what my point is, take the schooling away, take the married to an athlete. That means you're nothing. And by the way, I wouldn't say that means you're nothing. Like you still did hold down a household, 4 children. She was married for over 20 years. She was, Larsa could be looked at in a lot of ways as just that basketball wife, little situation, but she was literally with him, Scotty, one of the greatest to ever do it at such a young age. And she built a home with him. I don't think that's anything to look down upon. And whoever could judge how they want to judge us as men. I'm not in the business of judging women's occupations and who's bigger and better, but I just did not feel, and I'll wrap up here. I did not feel that Larsa had any animosity towards Dr. Nicole. In fact, when Dr. Nicole mentioned what she mentioned, Larsa's like, huh? What? And then Dr. Nicole, who I have been thinking is the coolest new cast member on Bravo, Peacock rather, she says, well, we haven't really got to sit with each other because, it's been a little bit weird. Larsa's like, what's your name, dear? Like, who are you? And then Dr. Nicole goes on to say, but that's none of our faults. It takes 2 to tango. If I'm Larsa, I'm looking at this clown in front of me like, who are you? I don't even know you. And you're telling me that we have an issue. What is going on?
That is the problem right there, is that Larsa is almost, she can give off this better than type energy. And so it doesn't sit well with people. Because it doesn't sit well with people because I think it's seen as you think you're better than me because you had this life before I had it. However, you're still on the same show as I am. So if you're that much better than me, why are you on a show? Why are you on a quote unquote, not that I'm saying this, but this is how it comes off. Why are you on a secondhand show if you're so successful in your hierarchy?
maybe you have an answer for this, and I do not mean to go against you, Russell, good friend of mine here. But I just, when did Larsa ever let on to anyone that she is that much above anyone else? She minds her business. She keeps her focus to herself and her children and maybe who she's dating. But I don't understand where she's ever in any room in terms of the TV show we're watching. That's all we could go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it. Have you seen her walk into a room and showcase that she's better than everyone else?
I don't necessarily think that I've seen that she's showcased better than anyone else, but I have seen her be dismissive. And I think dismissive comes off. It can come off as you thinking that you're better than someone else. So like if someone tells you, I feel this way, and you're like, well, that's not how I feel, and you're ridiculous for feeling that way. That's very dismissive. And so it makes it seem that you're better than. Does that make sense?
I see how that could be. I interviewed Giselle Bryant once of Real Housewives of Potomac, and you always hear all these nightmare stories about how she's so this, or this. I'm into, and at the time that I interviewed her, I'd been in broadcast for so many years already, like 15 years already.
Mm-hmm.
I could take anything, you know. And by the way, she thought I was actually very talented, but I would imagine every other person who interviews Giselle would probably be like, "Oh, she's such a this, she's such a that," because she's very headstrong, confident about her business. Okay, thanks, guy, but bye. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Just because you don't, why am I getting so excited again? I said I wasn't going to do this. Boy, I fight for Larsa. She don't even know my name. But I'm saying I have not, why, if somebody is focused and confident in doing their thing and not bowing down backwards to you, does that automatically make it like, oh, they are somewhat, acting dismissive towards you? It's just a question. But I do know the comments we must read. I think Larsa didn't feel automatically embraced by Dr. Nicole because Dr. Nicole wanted to fill her out prior to welcoming her into the house. Yeah, that's fine. Dr. Nicole had that right. I know she made mention of that. Now a direct message. Hell, the people love me. Randomly, Ronnie Jr. Had Larsa spoke about being a mother, which I thought of, it would have been applauded. But when she spoke to Dr. Nicole being married to a teacher, she said, do you know who I was married to? That reference, I believe, was more into the fact of like, these situations are the same situation. I don't know. I'm tired of talking about it. I don't know.
I digress. Let's get into the foreshadows though. Let's leave this because obviously it's going to roll over into the next episode.
I love the comment though. I love the comment.
What are you excited about for the next episode? Because I know what I'm excited about.
Oh,
and that is tied into you of what I'm excited about for next episode. So I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. What did Adriana? What's she gonna do? Adriana's gonna do something? No.
Well, they were like having little confessionals. Do you want me to tell you what I was gonna say it?
Okay,
yeah. So I'm excited about.
Sorry, I just got roasted by our amazing commenter. Hey, boo.
What I'm most excited about in next episode is that Dr. Nicole talks about how she threw out her neck giving head to Anthony, and it pans to Anthony, and he's like, just caught off guard, eating or drinking or doing whatever he's doing, and so I was like, oh, Ronnie is gonna be here for this.
Oh, I did like
it. Cracking because like. Jesus Christ, my voice is so dry from flying so much. But
right,
as soon as that whole like situation happened, I was like, this is right up Ronnie's alley.
Well, because I feel like we talk about stuff like that off the show, you and I.
But I think Dr. Nicole would be very forthcoming if you and her were in the same room and you asked about how well endowed Anthony is. I feel like she would show you.
She gonna give me the girth, all the stuff. Yes.
She would tell you because she comes from a medical perspective where it's not overly invasive. So like if you were like, I mean, how good is he in bed? Like she would tell you because I feel like obviously you just give off that vibe anyways, that like just comfortable to speak with.
Oh.
But I feel like she would do it just to like kind of fulfill your like interest or like just to like fulfill your interest or like your fantasy.
Yeah.
Because like she knows that like
you think she would send me
straight and she's comfortable with him.
She would send me a DP, huh? She would yeah. She would be like,
don't
here it
ever
is.
Abbreviate it like that again.
Oh, because it sounded like the other DP. Wow.
She's gonna send you a little DP. Okay, all
Okay,
right.
okay. But you
And
know what's
that is
funny?
where the show is going.
But you know what's funny? Dr. Nicole would appreciate all of this. That's what I'm saying. I love Dr. Nicole. I just got
Yeah.
real like Team Larsa because I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't feel like I feel like in life, if somebody is not messing with me, am I like running up to them to chase them and tap them and excuse me, why don't you like me? Like that's what it was giving.
You know, that's so funny that you said that because like lately I've been seeing this and I've been hearing it and I'm so sick of it. Is when someone isn't invited to something, they automatically feel the need to have an explanation. And so me and my fraternity brother, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but this is very right up Housewives alley because fraternity brothers can be just much like Housewives. There's a boy who was not invited to my very good friend's party. Again, Housewife alley. And so the other boy wanted an explanation of why he wasn't invited, and he thought it was because of me. And I am very much Larsa in this situation. I don't think about you. I don't talk about you. I don't care about your life. If you're in the room, I can be cordial with you, but like I don't want to mess with you at that capacity because I know that you're messy as an individual, and I know I don't want that part of my life. However, can we be in a room? Can we be cool? Can we have a good time? Yes. Yes. But don't ask why you weren't invited because clearly you weren't invited for a reason. And so I think when it comes to Housewives and all of this, it's like, again, like don't ask for things that aren't your business. But I guess that's what makes good television.
Well, and I'm glad because I know you did see more of the Dr. Nicole side, but there is a part of you that can see a Larsa
I can definitely
moment
see it.
side, and it's not being dismissive. And I wouldn't want Larsa to be dismissive. I wouldn't want you to be dismissive, and I don't think you are being dismissive. I just do think we could flip around things as far as the ego goes. Like if it were me, Ronnie, I don't know that I would want to like inquire to anybody why I wasn't wanted for any situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I don't, I was not invited to this, or, hey, we haven't really been getting along. Maybe if we got along to begin with, but if we were never really close, I feel like I'm kind of interestingly picking a fight. And in Dr. Nicole's case, it just felt like passively, aggressively, and then boom. So I just would want a little bit better. And I do love that you gave that example because it just showcases that these kinds of things happen to us all. And we are sometimes in the situation where we're the person who's not invited, which does hurt your feelings. I won't say that it doesn't. We talk about this on our show all the time. Jealousy is a normal human thing. It's just how you deal with it. Yeah. Me, I choose to deal with anytime I were, if I were to feel that way, I choose to be like, okay, maybe I'm not the right fit. I'm not I'm not for everybody. And that's okay. Yeah. Let me go find where I am valued. But that's yeah.
Sometimes you're just not on the same page for the time. And sometimes you got to fall off to reconnect. And I think people miss that. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes you outgrow people because they're only supposed to be in your life for a portion of a time. They're not supposed to be in your life forever. You're supposed to elevate each other. Dream on, Ronnie.
I think that's in reference to I don't know what anymore. But I'm sure I said something wrong. Oh, last week. Hold on. Don't forget your thought. Last week I made for the very first time ever an error. I'm giving Larsa vibes right here. This never happens, but I think you'll find this interesting. But yeah, opening it up to I'll say this once and I never say this. I'm not always right.
Oh, dang. This week I get 2 points. Last week I only got 1.
Last week I was like, no, but you don't understand. And you don't get a point for that. Like, I was really like, it's like, Ronnie, relax. These are Housewives of Miami. It's a TV show. It's a TV show.
Is paparazzi inside knowledge one thing that I have above Ronnie Jr.?
Oh goodness! Just can we? I think we have to move on. I really
Is this the 3-point shot that I have?
I mean,
let me just soak this in for a moment. Like, I need a fan. I'm so excited about this.
We silly. This show is silly. This is a silly show recapping Housewives of Miami. You were saying.
I forgot because I was so tied into that moment. Because I was so happy that I was winning.
I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Look, sometimes people are meant to be in your life for a chapter, just like Housewives are meant to be just for a season or two. They don't need to be here for the longevity of the show. people grow and phase out, and that's what life is. Stop asking to be invited to things that you're not intended to be at. Believe in the universe and believe that you are going to be placed in your specific locations that you need to be at the time and place you need to be there. Okay? When we keep forcing ourselves to be in a situation that's not meant for us, it tends to not pan out the way that we want it to pan out, and then we're upset about it. So stop hurting your own feelings. And with that being said, that is my take on all of this, because that was a full circle moment. Oh,
sorry, I'm on the phone with Larsa. Larsa, yes, Larsa. Oh, I was going to tell you, Larsa, I think you should be a motivational speaker, because the words you are speaking are infectious, and bye, Larsa. Bye. She should be a motivational speaker. She should keep it funky for everybody. Anyways, oh my God, this show's so funny. It wasn't a whole bang, or a big moments in this show, but it did kind of get us ready for the mid-season trailer, and there's a lot to go off of. And I thought the stories that were coming in the future are very different. It wasn't like we were seeing the same thing over and over, which was nice. Yeah.
I'm like, let's unpack it. Let's unpack it now, because it seems like the drama is going to just get bigger for next season.
Absolutely.
I mean, next episode. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the next season.
Real quick, just if you are already on the Peacock streaming platform, I do encourage you to show some support to our very own Russell Ray. He's got a TV show there called Create the Escape. It's like escape rooms with parents and kids, and it's a wholesome television. He's a design expert, which is also really, really cool. And hey, you're doing really good on is it TikTok or YouTube Shorts? What's going on with you? You got some nice little views lately.
Oh yeah, I had my video. So I didn't know this, because I guess this is a Hispanic thing where like nobody uses the dishwasher, because the old Hispanic saying is, I have kids to wash dishes. Why do I need a dishwasher? So I didn't know that the upper rack of the dishwasher drops down to make space for the stems of your wine glasses. Oh. So Babs, who's very viral on Instagram, TikTok, created a video that says, here's a life hack. If you need to make space for your wine glasses, just squeeze the trigger and release. So I was watching on Instagram one day while Shane was either at the gym or he was working or he was doing something out of the house. And I was like, wait a minute. So I'm like with my duck feet, like walking through the house. And then I go and I do it. And I was shocked, because this is not anything I ever knew. So we're like right at like 31,000 views on that. And it like started going viral right off the bat. So
it's interesting. I give you credit, because I was more, long form content, podcasting, etc., which is what we do here. Yeah. But you do really well with that. You're very funny. You got great comedic timing, good humor, and already as a TV presenter, you know how to like work the camera. But I actually started with my YouTube Shorts, so it's been interesting to try that out. A lot of it is just old recycled content, but it's still really fun to bring it back in a minute form. So I encourage anyone who wants to support either of us, make sure you go to russellraysilva.com, randomlyrjr.com. And if you want to make it rain, show some economic love, go to patreon.com/randomlyrjr, because you know what? It helps. And lastly, we have a comment about you being on point. Okay. Or you having a point. Russell, you do have a point. Certain things should be left alone. The injured party should simply accept the reality of the relationship.
Yes. All right. Thank you. That was the point I was trying to get to. Just accept it for what it is. Accept it for what it is.
Side note, to you again. You should bring Robin's kids to the escape room, allowing them to escape the fake wedding. Would you stop? This is a Real Housewives. No, we do not slander the beautiful Robin, who may or may not ever get married. We do not play that game around these parts. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye.
I would love to have a Create the Escape Housewives edition where we bring the housewives in, because mind you, they could be two different housewives like franchises, and bringing their kids together and having to work as a team to see how their kids actually interact, or see how they interact in order to get out of this escape room. But it would need to be a little bit more grander. We would need like some hydraulic operated chairs, or like, a mechanical bull where like the kids are just like shaking the heck out of their parents.
Yeah. I could see it. It was already on the Peacock streaming platform to begin with. Create the Escape. Housewives are on there. And then we would need, what we would need, Russell, what we would need.
What we need.
We would need an announcer. And I think the perfect announcer looks a little bit like this. Ooh. Oh, how do we get rid of Marisol and her? Don't want to get rid of her. How do we ever let her live down her amazing lipstick confessional? That gave us such a shocking experience. This damn Housewives show. I got to tell you, Russell. Even though I've been going to the gym, I think I'm gonna go to Burger King because Kiki has me wanting to go get some Burger King.
Look,
and that's about it.
Have it your way, baby.
Oh my goodness. All right, well that wraps it up. I hope we got a lot of the points out. Again, I just happen to always be Team Larsa. It's not like I'm trying to be that way. It just is the way it goes. She happens to just be so fly. Oh, look at her. Look at her. Oh, Larsa. We know Larsa watches the show. Hi, Larsa. Look at her just giving it to him. I love it. All right. Do you have any last comments?
No, those are all my comments for this episode, but I'm going to save what I do have for the next episode.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Russell, for your time. And thank you for watching the episode. We'll be back.
See ya.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.